The deep scars of war are starting to heal in Liberia. The tiny West African nation is still one of the poorest countries in the world. But there is a new spirit of hope. Our Brenda Bush, she is from Liberia. She's a producer and writer on our production team right here. And she went back to visit. She reports that the country is making a comeback.
I turned a corner in Monrovia and came up on these kids dancing in the streets. And it struck me. Almost 10 years ago, children this age were killing and dying in these same streets. I will never forget the horrific images of Liberia's child soldiers, armed, drugged, and deadly. It was difficult to watch my country, the place I was born and raised, embroiled in one of Africa's most brutal civil wars. I was one of the lucky ones because I was able to flee the violence. I've made many trips back to visit family through the years, but this time the spirit of Monrovia is different. Liberia is clearly making a comeback, and the family member I'm visiting now is my very American daughter who decided to move to Liberia after college. She says this is one of her favorite places in the city, the sprawling marketplace known as Waterside. Everything can be found here for a bargain. From handmade bags and shoes to carvings, clothes, and food. But you've got to love to shop to hang out down here.
How much for this one?
Broad Street, which runs through the heart of downtown, is another bustling part of the city. The quickest, though not safest way to get around is to hop on a motorbike or moped. They're called pen-pens in these parts for the constant annoying sounds of their horns. You can escape it all at the beach. Tourists aren't exactly flocking to Liberia yet, but they are starting to come. Several hotels have opened up, and I'm told Liberia has some of the best surfing in the world. Sunday is beach day. Liberians have a saying that the country is sweeto, and I'm hearing more and more of it these days.
Oh, this is an amazing time for Liberia. Everybody knows Liberia is on a path to sustained peace.
This is a place to be right now. I just had to be part of it.
There's no doubt that a long, difficult road lies ahead in this struggling nation by the sea. An entire generation of children was unable to go to school because of the war. So for me, the sight of kids with their backpacks heading to school is the promise for this country's future. I know many Liberian children still have a heavy load to bear. But there are no longer child soldiers on these streets, and hopefully one day all the Liberian children will have reason to dance.
Brenda Bush is with us now. Brenda, that's just a beautiful piece. I'm so glad you did this, that you went back to your home country and you were visiting your daughter. It's just really just a wonderful story, a personal story as well. Tell us a little bit about what it was like.
Well, I've been back many, many times. I think this time you could just feel the change. The spirit is so different. You know, this is still very much a war-torn country. So I don't want people to think that all is well in Liberia. It isn't. You know, there's still lack of water, lack of electricity. People are still worried about health care, education. Those things still exist. But I wanted to focus on what was changing there, and the change is without a doubt in the mood of the people. There's optimism. It's reflective of, you know, Africans fight, that we have this fight in us to survive. And really, it's the human spirit, really, all people, you know. And so coming out of this war, people are really ready to improve their lives, and we see it. I could see it, and I was just so happy.
And I believe it, but coming from you, seeing just your face now. You talk specifically about the children and that there were these child soldiers, but you see a different story and a different mood of the children. Do you think that that violence that is, will that come back? Have people really overcome that?
You know, Suzanne, that is the horror of our history. We had children who were killers, children who were forced to kill, children who were taught to kill, and they were brutal. And so the government has, with the international community, has really done a lot to change the children, to, you know, the ex-combatants, to make their lives better. And to see the children now dancing, and I tell you, we were sitting, we literally did turn a corner, and we just came up on these children, and they were dancing. And it was my husband, my daughter, and me. And my daughter is, you know, she's there dancing with them. You know, they were doing the Dougie. dancing to
no.
hip hop, you know.
In Liberia.
And my husband and I just sat and we looked and we said, our children have their childhoods back.
Wow, that is so powerful.
Yeah, it really was. It gave us chills.
And tell me a little bit about your daughter, because you talk about her all the time with our team. We want
do.
the rest of the country to know about her as well. She decided to move back. Was that surprising for you?
It was crazy because here's this girl who grew up in, you know, Georgia, but she went back because she loved Liberia. And I thought, why would you give up electricity, running water? You got to bathe in a bucket, you know, take bucket baths and candles. She went and stayed in the home where I grew up.
Really?
And it was just, but you know what, Suzanne, so many other children like her, born in America by Liberian parents, Liberian American children, and they're moving back to Liberia. They love this country and they are ready to make a change there. And I said, you know what, this is a nation making a comeback. I love it.
Well, your daughter's doing amazing things. Brenda, you did an amazing job. The reporting that you did, it's very, very moving, very touching. And all on your vacation, too. You don't stop.
Well, you know, Suzanne, I have to say, I was there for the bloodshed when it started. And to see this country now, you know, I was able to leave because my father had money. People in Liberia were not able to leave. The poor people, they were the ones who suffered the most. So to go back and see things getting better, there's nothing like it.
It's unbelievable. Well, thanks. It's very inspiring,
Thank you.
Brenda. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Suzanne.
Very proud to have you as a team member.
Thank you.